It's Wednesday, March the 23rd, 2022. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today I have with me the consciousness of Archangel Raphael, who wants to discuss the concept that health and disease are your learning curve. They're the juxtaposed physical states of positive and negative from which you can begin to glean a deeper, more profound awareness of who we really are as physical beings, as spiritual entities, as minds, as egos, whatever realm you are in. There's always a healthy side, and there is always a diseased side of our bodies, our minds, our emotions, and our environment. And these are the two opposites that we can learn from. He says it's really important you understand that the reason you have a body is you can experience polarity more obviously through matter than you can simply through mind, as the emotional conditions of pain and suffering are always, the body's highly sensitive to that, to the experience of pleasure and pain. And that gives each of us the opportunity to make decisions through the awareness that we cultivate through these polarized states of health and disease. He says on the physical level, health and disease are obviously easy to discern because your body experiences pleasure and pain more readily than you do as a soul, as an awareness. As a soul, as an awareness, you do not experience pain the same way you experience pain in the body. You do not experience pleasure the same way that you experience it in the body. It is more obvious of a guidepost to monitor your progress here. If you are in physical pain, there is an error in your consciousness, in what you're doing with your thoughts, what you're doing with your emotions. There is an error. And the body is the easiest way to begin to make that discernment. The process of the immediacy of pain and pleasure is very important for a number of factors. One, pain, regardless of what is going on around you, if you are in enough physical pain or enough physical pleasure, you are not distracted by the outside world the same way. Even if that outside world is causing you the pain, the focus is inward to try and deal with the pain and or the pleasure. They bring you immediately to this experience of self that's different than in awareness or in mind. Your mind does not experience pain and pleasure the way your body does and can. Your emotions reflect the quality or caliber of the thoughts that you have. Emotions reflect the quality and caliber of the thoughts that you have. And so from an astral place where you are in mental health or mental dis-ease, the condition, therefore, of emotions that are positive and negative assist you in making changes in the mental field if you so desire, just as pain and pleasure in the body facilitate you making changes in that realm. Paradoxically, though, many of you find that you have turned things around and you now try to get pleasure from that which actually gives you pain, and you get pain from that which actually gives you pleasure. And it becomes very confusing because you think something tastes good or something feels good, but you're not getting healthier, you're not getting stronger, you're not getting more vital, and you're wondering, what is it I'm doing wrong? You are disconnected from understanding the function of pain and pleasure in your body, pain and pleasure in the emotional field. These are elements of energy that are more obvious than the state of your awareness. In a state of awareness where you were not identified with a mind or a body, your perception of being is significantly different. I'm not going to try and explain how it is different here and now. Simply today, I want to articulate that your sense of pain and pleasure physically, your sense of pain and pleasure emotionally, are indicators that there are necessary changes that you are capable of making, otherwise you'll not be aware of it. You cannot be aware of something you cannot be aware of. So you are experiencing pain physically, emotionally, because you are aware of a potential change that you can begin to dictate through your actions and your thoughts. And until that process of a deliberate change in these states occurs, you cannot change. You will be experiencing pain. A simple example of someone who is experiencing pleasure but also causing pain is one who eats things that are not good for their body. They eat things that are not good for the body, but it tastes good. It gives them a sensation of pleasure. And the sensation of pleasure is what they fixate on at the expense of the pain of the body. The same is true on an emotional level, where you do not see pain, but you feel pain, or you feel pleasure. You feel good or you feel bad. You feel healthy, you feel disease. On the mental plane, the process is very similar in that your awareness is able to perceive the differences between pain and pleasure, and the awareness observing the experience of pain or pleasure. The moment you move into a realm where you are intentionally deciding what it is you are going to think, and therefore generate what you feel and what you experience sensorially with the body, and evaluate if this sense of pleasure is actually going to cause you more pain. Many of you tend to ignore your pain because you believe that the acquiring of more pleasure through the very mechanism that's causing you pain is much more valuable to you, even though evidence would indicate that the contrary is true. You are in a very profound time of energy and consciousness on this world today. And there are many that are here to offer you their assistance in formulating the simple, and I want to stress the simple perceptual elements that would allow you to make deliberate and intentional changes, in your world as an individual. When I say your world, I'm referring to your mind, which generates emotions, and your actions, which generate experiences for the body. Those actions can be eating, those actions can be playing, those actions can be sleeping for the body, that can generate conditions or experiences of the body that you call pain or pleasure. But these conditions of pain and pleasure, whether they are physical or mental, offer you the awareness, as awareness, conscious, and aware that there is pain, that there is an error somewhere in the process of your expressing creatively that causes pain, that there are errors in the process of your thinking that causes you conditions of pain. This combination of thought and biology together, when understood, give you the opportunity to deliberately and intentionally and creatively begin to express in a way that can optimize your creative potential here. The transmutation of a state of pain, whether it is biological or psychological, the transmutation of pain, the process is almost identical in nature, but differs in degree in that one is affecting the physical world more immediately, and the other is affecting the emotional or the world of energy more effectively. Although all things are of energy, I'm only concerning myself with these two, of your conditions of pain or pleasure in your body, the conditions of pain or pleasure in your mental realm. Only from the perspective of your awareness can you begin to initiate deliberate and exacting changes in the conditions of your body and your mind. Only as awareness. You may choose to delegate your health to another, but let us hope then that other that you would delegate your health to has a greater understanding and knowledge of your biology than you possess, which is actually quite impossible. One would need to in fact be living in your body to truly understand your pain. One would have to be truly living in your mind to understand your pain there. But let me assure you that the moment you are aware of a pain, whether it is emotional or biological, you are immediately placed in a position where you can initiate a deliberate and precise transformation in the condition of your body and in the condition of your mind. It is then a matter of understanding that your relationship to the utilization of thought and your utilization of the body and what you interact it with will loan itself to allowing you to be able to experience the deliberate and precise results of your own creative process while existing in this material world, while existing in the astral realm that you are temporarily given. When I say you're given this astral realm temporarily, the personality that you have, the one that you believe that you are, is very finite. Is very finite. The personality that you believe you are is very finite. Your personality will gain in lifespan as you gain more experiencing working with thoughts and matter to experience a maximal amount of pleasure without harming yourself or others. The establishing of your awareness increases your longevity of the experience of time and space. In other words, the more you become able to perfect the creative process, the longer your awareness can begin to exist in consciousness. That is, you can remain aware even beyond the transformation of the body from a physical state to a non-physical state, where your awareness no longer requires the body that you're in, where your awareness no longer requires that personality construct that you have. But it all starts at this fundamental level of pain and pleasure, health and disease, which are mechanisms for you as awareness to become conscious of what you are thinking and being that is not in alignment with who you are, and then altering the process of thinking and being so that you bring your mind and body into alignment with who you are. My name, for example, the one I use that many of you are familiar with as Raphael, is a much longer living presence than most humans, as is the one of the other ascended. These ones have learned to exist beyond the confines of a single individualized personal form. That does not stop us from being able to manifest a form, but we are not bound from it. We are able to live outside of that condition because our consciousness is consolidated in a state of being that does not limit itself to one finite construct of existence, which is why we can move interdimensionally and we can move from lifetime to lifetime without losing awareness of our acquired experiences, because we have perfected our ability to utilize thought and matter to create a state of being that transcends the conditions of time and space as you understand them to be in the finite condition of your body, where you believe that that body that you're in is the only body that you have, where you believe the construct of your personality, that is, the belief that you are this being that you think you are, is very temporary, and it is evolving based on your experience as an awareness. When your awareness is able to affect deliberate and precise changes over thought, time, space, and matter, consciously, precisely, and intentionally, then your expansion of life increases. In other words, you can live for many thousands and some for many millions of years when you understand this conception that you are awareness learning to master the conditions of time, space, and matter. In encountering pain, many of you seek to try and alleviate your pain rather than understand your creative role with them. Even events in your individual lives, events where you have what you might call an accident in time and space, are examples of a creative process that you're engaged in. Many of you are very unconscious of this process until you experience either pain or pleasure from your creative process. When you experience pain, you know something is not correct. And then it is up to you to identify, where is that incorrect process coming from? How did I have this car accident? How did this occur? what was my creative process in manifesting or manufacturing this condition of experience that I'm now finding myself in? That process of awareness begins to move you to the causal experience of being. In other words, you begin to recognize that thoughts and emotions and physical actions are creative in nature, directed by your awareness, consciously or unconsciously. Many of you are still becoming conscious of this fact, that you can choose thought, generate emotion, and create conditions of experience in what you call time and space. This process, and it starts at the fundamental level of pain and pleasure, and your awareness to cultivate how it is you are developing ideas and experiences that cause the conditions in your life, and to be willing to alter and change those conditions so that they become ideal for your desire to live in this world in a more conscious and deliberate fashion. But you are entering a time now where all of you are being forced to self-examine. The existing conditions socially are changing such that you are being forced to examine, how am I creating this condition of my experience? And yet many of you still wish to defer your creative process to another individual consciousness other than your own, rather than gain the value experience that you are able to generate experience intentionally and deliberately. So your suffering will increase and your suffering will decrease as you gain more awareness or less awareness. In other words, your consciousness, the more you become aware that you are creating intelligence, utilizing thought, generating energy in the form of emotion to cause conditions in your biology and in your world, you will not understand that you are actually doing it. But please understand that once you can comprehend that this mechanism of health and disease, whether it is on a physical plane or on an astral plane of being, you as awareness are the one that is responsible for becoming the architect over your experiences of biology and mind. Every experience you will ever encounter through this lifetime and others is a creative process. Thoughts, emotions, memories, the food you consume all loan themselves to generating the experiences you are currently having. The more acutely aware you become of your capability of changing thoughts, altering emotional energy, and changing what you do with that biology, how you interact it with the rest of the environment, will loan itself to giving you the freedom to know you are no longer subjective to the conditions of time, space, and matter, but an orchestrator of them. You orchestrate conditions of time, space, and matter. And there is not one human, there is not one being through all of creation that is outside of that process. None of us is outside of this creative process. The question is, are you aware that you are an agent of the creating process, or will you remain subjective to the creation of a process? The choice is exclusively yours when you become aware of that fact. But you cannot defer your creative process to others for long without eventually experiencing the pain and discomfort that comes from denying your own creative process. And so be delighted when you experience this condition of dis-ease or health, as it gives you the opportunity to begin to make deliberate and intentional creative corrections in your experience of time, space, and matter, knowing that you are the intelligence that is affecting the creation that you are experiencing, all of you. And yes, you may choose to defer, you may choose to delegate your responsibility to another consciousness, but no other consciousness can truly understand nor comprehend your creative process, for they have to be in your creative process to really understand what your experience is. That's why you can go to someone to heal the pain in your body. You say, I'm in pain. And they say, I know, but you know they do not know because they're not in your body. But you do know that you are experiencing this pain because you created it. And when you understand the capacity you have to alter the creation consciously and deliberately, you liberate yourself from subjectivity to matter and assume a role of responsibility over creation. You're part of it, at least. And all of you collectively participate in this act of creation. All of you actively participate in this process of creation. You cannot escape that responsibility. Even if you delegate your responsibility to others, you will never be able to escape that you are responsible. Ultimately, you will come around to having to be conscious about your choosing, or you will suffer until you do. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Benjamin. Thank you for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Hello, Melody. Good morning. Hello, Tara. Hi, Jenny. Wow. Hi. Wow. Thank you for getting all these goosebumps coming in. Thank you for your love, your light, your joy. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Yes. Question from White Rabbit. Why can't I stop shaming myself for my past mistakes? You have to release the judgment of the others that you carry as your own. It is important that you understand many of you are uncomfortable with what you carry, and some of you carried it over from other lifetimes. Some of you have even taken upon yourself the thoughts, the emotions, the ideas of others as if they were your own. But for you, quite simply, when you encounter the shame, when you find that place of shame, turn to it and offer it your love rather than your disdain. When you feel that shame, encounter it like a little child, embrace it and say, I am with you, I love you, I will take care of you with grace. Communicate this to that part that is shaming. Communicate your love to that part that is shaming. The very nature of that creative vibration called love necessitates that it induces very specific changes in the vibration that you call shame. Like adding one vibration to another, you cause a change. Like adding a color to a clear glass of water, it changes the color of the water. So too, when you extend your love to that part that is feeling ashamed, it will alter and change that energy that you call shame. From the perspective of creation, we view creation from the perspective of energy, not simply thought. For us, the emotional qualities bear more influence over time, space, and matter than do the structural linguistics of the creative process. That is the thought itself. It is the emotional quality that the thought generates that is the creative function. The thought simply stimulates, the emotion creates. And there's no condition of emotion that does not affect your body in some way, shape, or form. So that part that is feeling ashamed, please extend your love to it. Even as I say this to you, you can feel this. Even as I say that, you can feel that part respond to you, that part that you call, I'm shaming myself. Give it your love, watch it change, and then share with others the change so that they may be empowered thusly. For there are many of you that have been conditioned to believe that somehow you are at fault for the actions of others, and you are not. You're not at fault for the actions and the creative processes of others. You are only responsible for your own. Wow, thank you so much for that question, White Rabbit. Question from Tanya. I have been having lower back pains. Is it spiritual, past life? I don't think it's my bed. I tried to sit with the pain. Please tap in. Thanks. Again, one word has come to my mind, and the word is yoga. Yes. Just for this one, there are many others who could benefit from this, but it's important they understand this. One word, yoga. And I'm literally seeing you bent in half, like where your head is to your feet and your arms are outstretched. That's the image he's giving me right now to give to you, to that yoga. He's saying it really loud, like yoga. He says he's placing his right hand his right hand to the place just above what you call your sacrum. He's placing a hand there, and just allow yourself to receive. Wow, cool. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Tanya. Question from Adam. Can I ask Astarte on to explain why, if a lust-love talisman imbued with Venusian and Martian planetary energies would be as effective as that imbued with that of love-lust deity? She's laughing. She's saying, if you still wish to place your faith in those agents and mechanisms that are outside of you, you have not understood what my brother Raphael is saying. That the moment you recognize that you are the creative intelligence that is manifesting the conditions of your life, you become what we call free. You find yourself imprisoned by the talisman and the things that you believe you have certain properties over you. But ultimately, in your consciousness, when you recognize the true nature of your awareness, you will never be bound by a thing determining your experience and your creation. There will be no thing that will determine the creation of your experience other than your own consciousness, your own awareness. So many of you believe that things in and of themselves can affect you, and they can from one level, but ultimately your creative consciousness will begin to organize your affairs very differently than what you currently are. But if you are seeking the vibrational experience of love, which is what I believe you're actually asking me to explain to you, then you must simply sit and align yourself to that inner love that you know represents your true nature, your nature to give, your nature to be kind, your nature to be patient, your nature to be playful, your nature to be good. Align yourself to those things. They will be greater than any talisman from any dimension or any planetary system. Understand this. The very nature of your being, when it is fully realized, requires no talisman to actualize the experience of love, for it will spontaneously begin to occur when you align yourself to it. Be the love that you hope to acquire from this mechanism. Be that love, and watch love begin to emerge in your world. Wow. Thank you, Adam. Great question. Wonderful. Thank you. Question from Julia. Please, can I have a message regarding my present health issue? Much love. Oh boy, a lot of heat coming in here. Yeah. That's true too. Okay. There is water. Begin to drink more good water, clean spring or distilled remineralized water. You need to be drinking about 2 gallons of it a day. It will flush that energy away. Yes. And again, something about heat. There's something about you got to take. He's saying that take the heat out as well. There's something about taking the heat out. And again, water. You just keep saying water. Like, show me a river, like literally flushing things through. You need to really start increasing more water. Really, I drink about almost 2 gallons a day water, and it's very powerful. Oh, you're very welcome. Question from Rose. Even though I deliberately work with my consciousness to uplift, I have lots of ongoing negative pain. Why no organic shift from work I do? He's saying you must understand you are expecting the reward from the world. And yet the reward is that action in and of itself. If you understand the true value and nature of what you do, if you truly engage the spirit of what you do in its purest form, the condition will begin to ameliorate quite rapidly. But again, so many of you are placing the expectation for your fulfillment on the external world. You're placing the expectation of your fulfillment on the external world. How can you possibly experience the reward within if you were seeking it without? Be the joy, be the love, be the vital, not just in the actions of the body, but in the thoughts of mind and in your spirit. Let your soul delight in its existence. So many of you want to find relief from your suffering from the world around you, and it seems quite elusive, not because it is elusive, it's because you are eluding it by trying to find it where it is not. The love and the joy that is your true nature when fully actualized would be a very different experience for you on all levels, in thought, in emotion, and embodied. When you embody a vibration, it organizes matter, and that vibration is emotional in nature. An emotional vibration organizes conditions of matter. What many of you struggle with in your pursuit for vital physical health to overcome dis-ease, again, is to establish a vibrational energy, what you might call an emotion of love, of joy, of vitality, to embody that so that every organism that makes up your body, that is every single cellular structure, receives from you the vital energy of emotion that says, I am wondrous, I am beautiful, I am vital, I am love. You wish to embody into the consciousness of every cell of your body that awareness, that energy, so it embodies it. As easily as you can tell your hand to open and close, you are directing the cells of this form, trillions of cells and molecules responding to you. Why do you believe that any cell would not respond to you if you give it the right information, you give it a consistent message so that it remembers? Your body works on memory more than your awareness does. And your awareness has the capacity to train and indoctrinate your body into a new state of being. That process of indoctrination is simply retraining the mind and body into the new emotional quality that you wish to experience in that form. Remember, your body, unlike in thought, you can create instantly. In thought, all of you can create instantly. You can think a thing, and in that thinking, you can experience that thought as a reality. But your body takes a little bit of what you call time and space to receive that thought and receive that thought until it remembers that thought. Just as your hand remembers to open and close a certain way when you tell it to do that, just as your body remembers to walk a certain way when you get it to walk. It has been taught to do that. It learned to do that. So too, even in a state of disease, the process of learning the body back into a state of health works the exact same way. You precipitate an idea, you get the idea into the body, and you begin to enact that behavior in the body so it begins to remember the new behavior. Wonderful. Is that not wonderful and so simple? Question from, there we go. Question from Daniela. Yesterday, while driving suddenly at night at a right turn, my car spun out at the very left lane from the very right lane while blocking the steering wheel repeatedly and on the way back. Not why. Well, I don't know who this is, but they're saying that you're reaching that place of fearlessness now, where even your old self cannot stop you from going forward. The old self cannot stop you from going forward. You are transcending your fears now. You are transcending your fears now. Cool. I love that. You were able to go forward. I got time for two more questions. Question from Rudy. I have been drinking more water than usual. However, my lips and skin have been extremely dry. What would be oils? You need essential fatty oils. You should be consuming 2 to 4 tablespoons of either coconut oil or olive oil, but your body's now needing oil. Yes, yes, yes. He's just saying you need to consume more natural oils. The body needs these oils for this organ that you call your skin. It needs these oils. You need to increase them. Yes, thank you. Great question, Rudy. Oh, you're welcome, White Rabbit. I love that. Question from Mary Ann Scott. I received an unexpected sum of money. Do I pay off debt or save for an unforeseen need? Wow. I don't know who this is, but this is like, I don't know, this is a very unusual being. They're saying it is important you understand that the vibration of debt is not conducive to prosperity. The vibration of debt is not conducive to prosperity. If all of you had no experience of debt, if you did not have debt right now, you'd be feeling very different, would you not? Your energy would be very differently. But now you want to be prosperous and prepared and wealthy, but you are wanting to hold on to something that does not support that. And I would encourage you to relieve yourself of the burden of debt. Relieve yourself of the burden of debt, and you will be surprised once again. Remember, you are given a creative opportunity by this. You brought this forward, this creative opportunity forward, that you can choose what your future will be from this moment of creation. You may choose to hold one or the other, but you cannot have them both. Which will you choose? To choose wealth and prosperity, one must not have any debt. Debt does not support that condition that you call prosperity, but the liberation from debt does. Wow, great question. Thank you, Mary. Oh, you're welcome. So I just want to go over this. On Friday, I don't know who's coming in on Friday, but it's going to be what is forgiveness. Now, we've gotten comments and questions about forgiveness, and whoever this person is coming in on Friday, they're going to be discussing what is forgiveness, its function and its mechanism, what it's for. And I'll talk about the meditation on Friday when we get there. Also want to discuss the upcoming Mediumship 102 Masterclass that we have, which is our Mediumship Masterclass on how to release yourself from old past emotions. Literally, you do not have to spend 10 years in a psychiatrist's office to get rid of your pain and suffering. That's a waste of time and energy for some of you. Some of you may need to do that. But it's important you understand that there are simple ways and means you can liberate yourself from old past emotions that many of us carry sometimes for lifetimes. So you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. The link for that is in any of the videos any of the descriptions of my videos. It's a Mediumship 102 Masterclass, and at williammichaelforbes.com. Register for this course. It begins in a week and a half on April the 2nd, I believe. And it's an amazing program. And anybody who's taken the course, please leave a comment. Encourage others to take this course because it's literally life-changing. I highly encourage you to come out to this program. Again, I want to wish you all much love. I want to thank Raphael for being present and these two other beings that came in for those others. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for your questions, your concerns. Remember to leave a question, answer a question. Share this video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. Or as somebody else who did earlier today, you can use the super chat feature. Thank you so much for that very much. I really appreciate that, Benjamin. Thank you so much. And have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful day. And I will see you guys on Friday. And that's, again, going to be what is forgiveness. Have yourselves a wonderful day, everybody. Bye for now.